quite pleased actually after yesterday's sentencing. You know, the sentencing was quite severe. I know people don't think that that's the case, but because of their ages, etc., you know, it was a really heavy sentence, basically.
How did you find out about what had happened to your daughter?
It was the police that rang and just said she'd been attacked and she was in intensive care.
And when you got there, tell us what happened.
Well, just walking into the ward and had to be told who my daughter was because her face was so swollen and black and blue. I didn't recognise her.
And you went, or obviously you stayed at the hospital, went home, but that process lasted for quite a few days, didn't it?
13 days, yeah.
And then what happened? You had to make a life or death choice for her, didn't you?
No, it wasn't like that. No, we were just told that on Friday they would do the tests and then switch the machines off.
When you saw the people that had done this to her in court, what emotions were you dealing with? How did you feel?
Angry. That's your initial reaction. And then you just look at them with the contempt that they deserve. You know, the swaggering attitude.
Yeah, because one of them apparently had gone to the police station with his mother, and they were both laughing and joking. They thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Do you have any sympathy for the way these kids were brought up? That means that they treat other human beings like they do their daughter?
No, not at all. You know, it doesn't matter how you've been brought up. You know the difference between right and wrong, and you should know not to jump and stamp on somebody's head.
And your daughter was actually cradling her boyfriend, who had originally been attacked, hadn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
What were you told about what actually happened in the attack?
It was fed really in dribs and drabs. I think it's so that, you know, the police do that so that you can cope with the actualities. Yeah. So
they'd just been walking through a park?
No, what happened were they'd gone to the garage to get some cigarettes, got into conversation, and then went with these, or some young people, into the park.
Right.
To chat and have a drink with them, basically.
The others decided that because of the way they looked, they wanted to attack them?
Yes, yeah.
Because they were Goths?
Yeah, well, it's moshers, you know, that was the term that they use.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You work with young people, don't you?
Yes.
That's your chosen profession up till now. When you see what some disturbed young people can do, how does that make you feel about your chosen profession?
Well, it's not even just that. You just question everything, basically. And obviously I've questioned whether I can go back into that field or not.
Do you think you'll be able to?
I'm going to do, yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Why have you decided to do that? Because that takes in an enormous strength. Character.
It's not about strength of character, it's about somebody's got to tell these young people the reality, you know, and I'll be able to do that.
So do you think there is hope then for kids like the ones that did this to your daughter?
I can't answer that, I really don't know.
Do you think that they can be reformed though? I know a long time in prison. But we're not born evil, are we?
No. No. I honestly can't answer that question, I don't know.
What about the fact that cannabis, you feel, is such a big problem? I was talking to Brian Paddock, you might remember him, he's running for London Mayor, and he had been talking about whether cannabis should be legalised or not. Some suggestions that it will be reclassified to a Class B drug.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a dangerous drug?
I think it's a lot more dangerous than people seem to think it is. I mean, obviously, because of my age, I'm used to people who've smoked cannabis for a number of years, and it does affect mental health. And I know that some experts say it doesn't, but I'm a firm believer that yes, it does. And particularly these days, it's skunk, you know, which is far stronger than cannabis anyway.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's your daughter's partner, who I believe they live together, how's he coming to terms with what happened?
Right, I don't really like talking about Rob because, but, you know, physically he's getting stronger, emotionally he's still suffering.
And how are you going to start to rebuild your life?
Well, we've got the Sophie campaign, so what I'll do is I'll work with that.
Tell us more about that.
Right, we used her initials, so it's stamp out prejudice, hatred, intolerance everywhere. And initially, if I could raise enough money, I would like a family room at Hope Hospital to thank the nurses for all the care, you know, that they put in. But we want to educate people, you know, in diversity, etc. And that really we're all the same. And I know that sounds quite to some people it's quite well, everybody does that, but the reality is no, they don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and we need to know.
And how do people contribute? How do people get more information?
Oh, you're asking the wrong one. It's www.inmemoryofsophie. We have a MySpace at the moment.
Okay.
And
what we'll do is we'll put that on our website, and people can
do.
get more information
Yeah.
from there. Sylvia, we appreciate your time.
Thank
you
you
very much indeed for joining us.